So I'm going to animate the word falling now, and I want it to be in this position again, so it was the right place relative to the falling. But the first thing I'm going to do here is just to create some frames, and I intentionally want this to go on a little bit longer. And I'm going to create my motion tween, as we did before. And at this point in time, I'm going to put it up so it also falls in. That action is the reverse of what I want at the moment. It's going up. I want it to come down. So I'm going to do what I did before, just right click on that motion and reverse keyframes. So now we've got the motion coming in the right direction. And I'm going to just put a little effect in here called ease, which is going to make that falling word bounce when it hits this frame, when it hits this point in time. So I'm clicking on this motion, and I'm going to go to our motion editor, and this is where we can actually see graphically what motion we are putting on here. If I just move that out of the way for a second, we'll be able to see a little bit about what's happening. We can see how the X and Y values are changing over time. So as a graphical representation, we've got a number of different tools that we can use here. We've got transformations that we can actually put on, and if I just lift that a second, you should be able to see color effects, and down the bottom here also this thing called eases. And what I'm going to do is add an ease, and I'm going to add the ease, the bounce in ease. These are things to sort of experiment and play with, and there's a tutorial on just this section. And what I'm going to do is add that to the Y here of our falling. Okay, let's just move that down. Go back to our timeline. So this has affected the motion of our falling, and as you can see, as I walk that through now, that's changed the motion and put this kind of bouncing action in there. Now, the moment the prices don't stay where we want them to be, so I'm going to just shift select all of those because I want them to start. But I meant to shift and select that one. I want the falling to start later than the prices, so the prices start falling first and then the falling word falls, and we want the prices to be at this point in time as well. So I'm just going to shift select those frames and insert frames. So there's no motion happening here to the falling, as you can see, sorry, to the prices, as you can see. So the prices come in, then the falling comes in and bounces, and that's the motion that we've created. We can now use that movie in our main movie. If we just look at the movement that is going to create, you can see that it's looping around. What we actually want is for this to stop and let the rest of the animation continue. So what I'm going to be doing is creating a new layer. I'm going to call that actions. And in the last frame of that layer, I'm going to create a keyframe. I'm going to press F9 to bring up the actions palette and just type the word stop, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. So there's complete code for that. Press F9 to get rid of that, or just click on the cross. And this time when we compile it, we should see that that plays once whilst the rest of the animation loops. So we've managed to stop our movie clip from just repeating through that simple bit of action script.